welcome back to Bare. I'm Stephanie. Today's video will be a holiday Christmas inspired tutorial using what I consider a naked peach eye and red fleshed cheeks, very almost pinky red, and then a bright cherry lip. I tend to do a brick red lip for the holidays, but this year I wanted to use more of a blue based lipstick and kind of deepen it up and counteract that with a nice plum lip liner. I also decided to go ahead and use all drugstore makeup for this look. I wanted to be mindful. I know that times this time of the year can be a little bit tight with funds, so I wanted to give some affordable options in lieu of using my higher end cosmetics. So if you'd like to go ahead and see how I came up with this tutorial for Christmas and the holidays, let's get started.
So one eye is already done. I'm going to do the next one, priming with the Wet n Wild Fergie eyelid primer. This is a new primer for me. I actually really like this as far as one from the drugstore. It does dry fairly quickly, so I noticed that I have to apply that eyeshadow pretty quickly before it starts to look a little bit clumpy. But for now, I actually do like it. Next, I'm taking my Pixie Mesmerizing Mineral Palette in Copper Peach, focusing on the last 4 shades down on the bottom. I'm going to be taking that last copper gold shade and applying that by pat motions all over my lid. And I'm also going to be using that color as my inner eye color and bringing that down a little bit more on the lower lid, but focusing more towards the inner of the eye. Using this new double-ended brush from Crown Brush I got in my Ipsy bag, I'm going to go ahead and take that nice deep rich brown. That is going to be my crease color. So you notice I have my eyes open as I'm applying my crease color. Because my eyes are hooded, I prefer to leave it open so that way I can know exactly where that crease color is going. Now I'm going to be using my MAC blending brush and just blending those 2 shades together. Using the small end of the dual brush, I'm going in with that second to last color and applying that higher up on the eyelid, focusing it more towards the outer V. So how an outer V would go, but I'm applying it above the crease color because I actually have more lid space up there. And it's going up almost close to where I would put my eyebrow bone shade. I want that ombre sunset effect. And then I am blending that out, going in with the light shade below the darkest brown, and that's going to be my eyebrow highlight shade. And I want that to blend in with that second copper peach color, again for that sunset, the colors that you would see when the sun sets. You will see that like gold yellow, and then it goes down to like a light peach orange, and then a dark brown, and then the copper shade on the lid. That's the color focus that I'm looking for. Then I'm going back in with that chocolate brown and just applying that with my smudge brush to the bottom lash. Now I'm going to tightline using Maybelline's Master Drama. This is a great pencil to tightline with because it budges, it doesn't go into your actual eye. So I'm going to not line my top lid, I'm just going to go ahead and tightline, and also the waterline as well. So just a waterline effect and a tightline effect will really open up your eye and also create that round eye doll look. Next, I'm using my Girl Clump Crusher mascara. That's my favorite mascara to use as a bottom lash enhancer. It just makes the lashes blacker than black. It separates it, and it actually makes it much longer. So it's a great bottom lash mascara. For my top lashes, I'm using Maybelline's Rocket Volume mascara. This is definitely a December favorite. It really makes your lashes appear to be false, and I'm not going to be wearing falsies in this tutorial, so this is pretty much as good as it's going to get, and it is great. I love that mascara. It just really separates and makes your lashes curly and just fans them out just like false lashes. So that's the completed look, and again, that sunset ombre naked peach appearance. Moving on to the face, I'm going to be using the Ulta Matte Primer. This is a great affordable drugstore price primer, and it's like a lotion and a silicone based primer, and it really absorbs well and it keeps that foundation on. So I've been enjoying this. I just recently purchased it and it's definitely going to be a favorite soon. So just apply that all over the place. And then I'm applying my favorite foundation of the year, and it is the Ready Set Gorgeous by CoverGirl. This mimics to me the Marc Jacobs gel foundation. It has the same type of texture, and it blends in very well with the Beauty Blender, but of course it doesn't have the Marc Jacobs price tag. This foundation is just fabulous. So I'm just buffing that in with the Beauty Blender and also rolling it onto my skin so that way I can mimic a flawless appearance by using the rolling technique, just to kind of get any extra excess foundation off my face. Next step is to conceal. I'm using the HD Photogenic Concealer by NYX. My shade is Nutmeg. This is the dupe for NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. It has the same texture, different shade, of course, but it has a very similar texture to the NARS Radiant Concealer. So just blending that in with the Beauty Blender, which is my preferred tool to blend in any type of liquids, any type of concealers, pretty much anything. I love my Beauty Blender. Also, I apply foundation on the tip of my nose underneath the nostrils. If you apply if you apply concealer right there on that nostril part, it actually takes years off your face. That's a little makeup artist tip for you. I'm going to highlight next using, from NYX again, the Photogenic Concealer, but it's a shade lighter, so I'm using the color Tan, and I'm focusing on the bridge of my nose, always above the brow bone to give a lift facial effect. And I'm going right on the tops of my cheekbones because I want the highlight effect to be focused right there where I would apply the highlighter. My drugstore highlighter I'm using is not as intense as my other higher end highlights, so I want to have an extra bit of coverage there. So I'm not going to focus too much of a highlight right underneath my eyes as a brightener. I'm going to focus more on my high parts of my cheekbones. So I'm just blending that in, as you can see, again with the Beauty Blender. Just turn the Beauty Blender over to, the side that's more pink and focus right there on the tops of my cheekbones for that highlight effect. And just blend that in. Again, this NYX HD Concealer is so easy to blend in. It's a dream. I really do like that formula. And the key is to blend, blend, and blend. Eyebrows is next. I'm using the new CoverGirl Brow Plus Liner Powder in the shade Dark Brown, which should be called black because it is a very dark brown going into the black family. I didn't want medium brown, which had more red in it. And I don't have much fill-in on my brows because I pretty much use a special serum which grows my hairs back in. So I just focus on maintaining the arch and doing some sort of an effect from the arch all the way down to the tip. Try to fill that in and then just lightly, very much like barely put any product on the front part of the eyelid. And I'm not too sure about this brow powder, but I'll probably wind up using it more as a eyeliner instead. For the lips, I'm priming them first with the NYX Lip Primer, and my shade is Deep Nude. This will help smooth out my lips, and since I am wearing a dark red, it will just kind of keep all that in place. So I'm going to apply that first, and while that's kind of marinating on my lips, I'm going to be moving on to my bronzer, and this is my favorite drugstore bronzer. It's by the brand Jane in the color Give for us deeper skin tone girls. And I'm just not going to be doing any type of crazy contouring. I'm just going to lightly apply it where I would put it in where the hollow of my cheekbones are, and focusing on a little bit along the hairline and also applying it along my jaw line as well, and then blending it down. So with my Ita brush, which is my favorite brush to apply any type of bronzing or contour product, it's just a no-brainer. So just blend that in, brush strokes, either sideways if you're doing your chin and your jawline, and back again on your cheekbone. When you apply the product, first apply it and then wiggle it back and forth. That's how you blend it into your skin. It's such a great brush, great investment. So just apply those, the bronzer on the high focal points and on the jawline, the chin, a little bit on the nose, the hairline, just a little bit, no crazy contouring. Highlight. I'm going to be using the fan brush to lightly apply my highlight on the tops of my cheekbones, again where I put that brightening effect. This highlight will kind of intensify it a little bit more. I'm using it with the fan brush so that way I can kind of control how much of the effect I want. I want a nice, holiday sparkle, but not anything like disco ball going on. So that's on there. To blush, I'm using the e.l.f. 4-pack blush kit in the shade Dark. And I'm using that deep red, that's the 4th color, and applying that with my Ita brush, which I thought would give me more of an intense look because the dense brushes are so packed and dense together. But still with the e.l.f. blushes, it just doesn't give me as an intense look as I want. Their blushes just are not as pigmented, I feel, as they need to be for us girls with deeper skin tones. So, I mean, it's okay. It's a good, affordable price, but for someone like me who, I love blush, I want that effect, and I want to blend out like crazy. I just need something a little bit stronger. But I will use the kit because all the colors are really pretty. Moving on to lips, I'm going to be using Jordana's retractable lip liner in the color Plum. And I'm going to be outlining my lips. And this is going to be a nice base for the bright red lipstick that I'm going to be wearing. So this deep Plum, it's not deep, like as intense as perhaps like Mahogany or so from MAC. But it will provide a nice, I would say, a warm base color to help counteract all that blue that's in the red lipstick that I'm going to apply. So this shade is great to just kind of tone down any type of, funky red lipsticks that you might have. I love mixing colors together and getting my perfect cocktail going on. So I'm just going to be using my e.l.f. concealer brush. I buy that brush in bulk. I use it all the time to basically as a lip brush to help fan out the color, and it works great because the brushes are very dense together. Last is the lipsticks. This is the new Maybelline matte lipstick in the colors Siren and Scarlet. It's gorgeous, and if you have cool or neutral skin tone undertones, this color will look great on you without, I think, any lip liner. But if you are warm yellow tone like me, you need something to kind of counteract all that blue. And adding some sort of a plum liner to it will do that effect. It's so pretty. It's matte. The formula of these new Maybelline matte lipsticks are just fabulous. I really do like that color. So that's the completed look. Nice ombre effect eyes, sunset, naked peach, flushed red cheeks, or cheeks I wish were a little bit red, and then the nice matte bright lipstick.
So I hope you've enjoyed this video and it has been helpful. If you are going to be having your own holiday and Christmas look, please hashtag me using ByBare on any social media channels. I would love to take a look at what you've come up with. Thank you very much for stopping by. I hope everyone has a wonderful and a Merry Christmas. As always, I'm going to see you